Being driven is a double-edged sword. It could be the thing that makes you really productive and really successful in life. It could also be the thing that causes you to spiral out of control, crash and burn, and just basically wind up a failure for your entire life. It's a lot more nuanced than you may think about it, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So before we talk about being driven, we need to talk about ambition. They're both relating to what you want out of life. So I'm not going to waste your time. This is my definition of ambition and drive. Ambition is how much and the quality of how much you want out of life, the quality of those things. Driven is how bad you want your ambitions. Now, I would say that being ambitious is just good. The only downside to having high ambitions is that you might not meet them, which will then lead to disappointment. If you're somebody who downward spirals a lot, which you have ADHD, you have depression probably, so you might be this person, then this could be a downside of ambitions. But ambitions can also be really nice because when you are progressing towards an obscenely high goal, like making $1 billion or something, a few things happen. One of the nice things about having high ambitions is that you don't stop. You don't get comfortable and slow down when you're close to the finish line, which is what a lot of people will do. A lot of people, when they get close to the finish line, when they get close to their end goal, when they get close to where they are going to perceive themselves as comfortable, they will just slow down and they will stop. And they will basically like hit that 75%. And then this is typically when people will just taper off and they'll stop working on whatever they were working on. And so if you have a really high ambitions, then this isn't going to happen. What's going to happen is you're going to work past what normal people would work because you want more than them. You're just going to get more out of life because you're highly ambitious. And it can also feel really nice to chase an ambition. It can feel exhilarating and great watching numbers go up, watching yourself grow, just enjoying your growth and your transformation. There's a lot of reward in this. So that's a double-edged sword. That's the first bit of nuance with ambition. I think it's really, really good, but this could also lead to really bad depression if you are really having a hard time with your ambitions. If you find this is where you at, if you're constantly sad because you're not meeting your ambitions, it might be time to lower your ambition, at least for now. You can always raise it again later, but that's something to keep in mind. So I generally recommend having high ambition, especially if you have ADHD. I think it's healthy, but just understand that it's high. Understand that your ambitions are high and you're probably not going to get all of them. Actually, real quick, there is one more downside. This just came to my mind. When you have ADHD, you get excited about things easily. You get excited about new ideas and new projects. And we call this like scatter factor of like you starting a million projects, not finishing any of them, having poor allocation of resources. When you have high ambitions, the scatter factor can go up. If you're a highly ambitious person with ADHD, there's a high chance you also have a really high scatter factor and shiny object syndrome. So that is one thing to keep in mind. You might need to nip your ambitions if you're finding that this is really, really a big problem. Okay, but now on to drive. So drive is how bad you want your ambitions. People who are driven are people who do more work than you because they want it more than you. They want whatever outcome more than you do. And there's one rule in life that basically determines whether or not people meet their ambitions. This rule is, if you want it bad enough, you'll get it. Success is a decision. If you want something bad enough, you will get it. When people have made up their mind that they really want something, like really, really want something, people will do crazy things. They will break norms in order to get what they want. And when you have ADHD, I think that it's good to embrace eccentricity because we're already kind of eccentric. And on top of that, we're 5% of the population. We were born exceptional. So you just have to own that. If you're trying to be normal pilled, you're not in line with what you really are. You were not made to be normal pilled. You were made to be exceptional in some way. And this is a really hard truth, is people wind up where they are in life because that's what they wanted. At some level, in some way, their decisions led to them getting the life they want. And this can be really hard to admit. I struggle to admit this. Our decisions lead us to where we are, and our decisions are entirely made off of what we want, how badly we want it. So drive and ambition determine where you're going to wind up in life. They are basically the engine. They are like the engine for your life. And this is true also with dopamine. Dopamine is the motivation chemical. And obviously, our relationship with dopamine is a little scuffed when we have ADHD, but this underlying principle is still the same. But for normal people, and even more so for people with ADHD, there is actually this weird relationship with drive and ambition. We talked about ambition a little bit, how there are certain downsides to it. There are also certain downsides to drive. I propose that for any given situation, depending on your circumstances, there's an optimal level of drive and an optimal level of ambition for you in regards to actually getting the most out of life, getting the highest ROI. So people with high drive, they will work longer hours, they will do more crazy things to get what needs to be done. Let's say that somebody has an ambition of making $1 million, but they don't have an ambition of being a moral person. If they have high drive, this could lead them to try and rob a bank. Or for an athlete, this could lead them to train every day, just go super, super hard until they get the gold medal. But here's the thing about wanting things really badly. Like, yes, this literally is the engine of dopamine, and dopamine is the doing chemical. Like, the more you want something, the more motivated you're going to be to get it. And a lot of people with ADHD develop this productivity coping mechanism of basically being like a super athlete or workaholic mindset, where it's just like can develop this mindset of I want it so bad, I will get it no matter what, which can be a little bit unhealthy for people who just inherently have a problem with impulsivity. This can put you in some bad situations where you're willing to make sacrifices that you should not be making purely out of impulsivity. Maybe even you didn't even want to make this sacrifice, but just because how you are when you have ADHD, the poor ability to self-monitor and the impulsiveness, it just leads to you making these sacrifices that you didn't even want to make and then like feeling really bad later. And there's more. So people who want things so bad and have this like super athlete mindset, which I like the athlete mindset. It's a good mindset to have, to like push your limits and your boundaries. But if you push too hard, it will lead to burnout. It will lead to burnout. I've had this mindset before. I've had this super workaholic mindset and experienced like very, very horrible burnout. Most people, when they talk about burnout, they mean like a little, like basically a blip, but there is a much more serious kind of burnout where it's like you are actually hitting your cognitive, like physical limits, and your like brain is starting to like devolve and degrade. I've hit this. It's like one of the worst feelings in the world. It's like your entire body is in pain because your neuroreceptors are just fried. I did this after weeks of working, just pushing myself as hard as I possibly could every single day. And like there was value in this, but what I've experienced in this and being in this mindset in general is that you hit a point of diminishing returns. And the thing about diminishing returns is that's not necessarily a reason to stop, because diminishing returns are still returns. However, I'm about to make the argument that there's a point just a little bit past that where it's no longer diminishing returns, it's straight up negative returns. Like you're actually going backwards after you cross this threshold. And it's probably just a little bit ahead of the point where you're getting diminishing returns. Because being really driven does increase your impulsiveness, and it increases, and what this really does is it reduces your ability to strategize, which is your lever in productivity. That's where most of the productivity actually happens, is your strategy. Work smarter, not harder. Productivity is like 75% working smarter, 25% working harder. And this impulsivity, what it will also do is it kind of cognitively like fries you, because if you're always focused on like the thing you want and going after it and getting it, it's like, yeah, you're going to be working and you're going to be getting it done and you're going to have more motivation than other people. But you have tunnel vision, you have blinders, which is also hurting your strategy. And you're going to take hits and dings for this. They're going to negatively impact the speed at which you get to your goals in the long run. And I feel like when you have ADHD, this sort of melds in with the poor self-monitoring. And what will happen is you'll hit what I call like sort of hyper-focused zombie mode, where you're just like fried and you like can't even tell. And you're just like making really bad decisions continually and like skipping meals, like letting your social everything degrade, and basically just like sacrificing now for later. And it's like, no, that's not the point. You can have heaven right now. You can choose to do the little things that make right now better for you. And if you do that, what happens is you start to get a higher ROI on the effort that you put in daily, because you're happier, you have more dopamine flowing, you feel like you're actually making success, even if it's not necessarily typically the most optimized. This person burns out, it's unsustainable. This person actually grows, and you need to be more understanding and gentle with yourself when you have ADHD, because of how sensitive your system is to basically getting what it wants, because the ADHD system is highly motivated by interest. If you're always working and you feel like you're never really seeing any return because your ambitions are too high and your drive is really high, so you're like skipping over the little things, guess what? You're gonna feel like crap. You're gonna feel like there's no point in doing what you're doing. And you're going to feel like all you do is work to get nothing in return. That's exactly what you're going to feel like. And that's a warning, because I've been there. Don't be me. So I would say, to kind of encapsulate all of this, what I want you to walk away from this video with is that having a high ambition is good. Having a high drive is also good. But there are downsides to these things that you need to be able to look at and recognize, oh, I'm having this downside. Could it be that my ambition or my drive is too high, and do I need to lower them? And if you maintain this optimal amount of ambition and drive, you should see success a lot faster. And my recommendation is to always celebrate the gap between you and how far you have left to go to reach your goals, because it is a beautiful thing. It's about the journey, as cliche as that sounds. You know the drill. If you thought that this video was worth your time, consider liking and subscribing. If you subscribe, it'll get pushed to your homepage. This whole channel is about helping people with ADHD get a higher return on investment for their lives, helping you get more stuff done with less effort. If having that type of content influence you consistently is something that you think you might enjoy, then go ahead and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching till the end of the video. That is the most important stat for YouTube. And yeah, thank you. Peace.